Hi and welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. My name's Ruben and this is my movie review for Malignant. Also talking ending explained and general spoilers at the end, but for now it's spoiler free. Let me know your favorite James Wan directed film in the comments below. Madison is paralyzed by shocking visions of grisly murders and her torment worsens as she discovers that these waking dreams are in fact terrifying realities. When this film first started, I didn't know what to expect because it looked to me like a low grade, low budget B horror movie set in the 80s. Even the intro with the Warner Brothers kind of flickering of static and the videotapes, it makes you feel like you're watching one of those old B horror movies, and that's obviously very intentional. Even the acting at the beginning feels a bit overacted. If you remember that scene with Jim Carrey and Liar Liar, that right at the end they have that like extra clip and one of the actors shout overactor. I felt like saying that because I just wasn't sure that I was getting the feeling that the director wanted me to get at the beginning. But as I settled into it, as the film starts exploring what is actually going on, I was like, I know what this is. This is a monster movie with someone that loves the 80s, those type of horror, pure monster horror, physical action with a decent budget, and then have kind of, not tongue-in-cheek, but that almost cheesy 80s action styles with weird contortion movements for your monster, and then add in a bit more budget and fantastic cinematography with really creative movements and really creative shots that were used. Just some definitely harking to other horror movies that were pulled from the genre. There's a shot with a lamp and the street light in the mist that just reminded me of The Exorcist. There's a shot that reminds me of They're Here. References of other horror movies without making it cheesy, without taking away from what's actually going on in the film. So I really appreciated that. As the story unfolds, you are definitely there with the protagonist trying to unravel the mystery, as if you, the viewer, can help her. If you can figure out what's going on, you can stop the monster from doing these horrific things. And it's a builder, because I wasn't really scared at the beginning. I actually forced my wife to watch this with me, which she doesn't normally watch horror with me, but this is the perfect date movie if you're going to go to the cinema, or if you're in the US watching HBO or the cinema. Your wife will definitely, or your partner will definitely, cuddle up to you, because if they get scared from horror quite easily, as she does, this is the one where she'll cuddle up and, the popcorn will go everywhere. I wasn't scared at the end, but it definitely is a builder, because there are moments you're just like, I don't see it coming. It does do some jump scares, and that was cheap, and I could have done without those. There are moments when the score is overbearing. It's unnecessary to have the score even in those moments. It would have been better to have the monster shown in the background of the scene without having going, blada, this is the monster moment. But for the most part, I was really pleasantly surprised at this film. I think it does do scares. It does it well. It does remind me of other horrors, but it feels unique enough that it harks back to previous horror monster movies with physical action, which I really appreciated. And then you're going to love the ending. If you love gore, things going chaotic, then I think you're going to enjoy this. So I'm going to give this a solid B+. I really enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below what you would have rated this. I'm going to talk about the ending and do some spoilers now. So this is your warning. So throughout the film, the director James Wan keeps you guessing, and so we have our protagonist and she's trying to figure out what is going on. When the reveal comes, when we see those videotapes, it all clicks into place that there is this twin or a malignant tumor that is a siphoning off her energy, and that becomes stronger, is able to use her as basically body hijacking. So the whole time when she was seeing these visions, she was actually there. It was her that was frozen in the mind. Maybe you didn't quite get that. So to explain exactly, like when she's frozen, she feels like she's in a sleep paralysis moment and she's seeing those visions. She's not actually frozen. She's frozen in the mind, her mind, but in Michael's mind, which is the same mind, because they took him out. They got rid of the cancer body part, but his brain is still there, and so he's been feeding off her babies to kind of reform himself, I guess, to reform his mind, to grow. He also feeds off energy, as you saw when they're when they're doing all these like electroshock therapy, that he gets stronger and stronger. Even right at the beginning, they hint at that in the storyline. He's getting too strong now. It's one of the first things that we hear right at the beginning of the film. And so when you take that into conjunction with what's happening at the end, you understand when the massacre comes and is jumping all over the place, all over the buildings, breaking people's arms, ripping people apart, really gross moments, but very coolly done with the contortionist body movements. It ends up being believable because they've set up all that premise. But now this is like when you get right to the end, and he's been able to do these visions this whole time and control her. The tables are turned and she does that. So where that moment you think that her sister's been shot and the mother's been killed, that's not actually what has happened. We see that she was able to take control and lock Michael away in a cage. Now, for me, that says that this is like starting a new universe, and we're going to get loads more of these. And she's going to be probably locked away, so she'll be jailed or in an insane asylum and escape, and then we'll get a second story because the sister's still alive, the mother's still alive. So there's lots of ways that they could come back and there'd be vengeance, similar to Nightmare on Elm Street, like those kids on Elm Street, the heritage of that family. I feel like that could be the thing. The cop is still alive, both cops are still alive. There could be that kind of vengeance cycle. Maybe we will see more established about what went on at that hospital. It's a beautiful site, but obviously pretty creepy, perfect for nightmare juicers or creative writers, which I am. So I loved seeing some of the creatures that they did. One of the things that wasn't really explained, which I'm guessing is still in her mind, right at the beginning, Michael was a shadow creature. And I'm guessing because he hadn't quite formed yet, or the baby wasn't gone yet, is that he didn't have the substance to fully control her mind. So her husband was killed with like the spike, which looked like a shadow. But I'm guessing that's because it wasn't formed yet. And so later when the lights explode, it's because Michael has the power fully. Let me know of other things that you caught in this film that kind of helps explain what actually went on. If you aren't sure about anything, chat down in the comments. Let me know your favorite moment. Thanks so much for watching, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.